Does the federal tax system seem unfocused, even a little unreal? Have you ever wondered why most taxpayers never actually write a check to pay taxes to the federal government? For most people, the federal government takes its share out of their paychecks before they ever lay eyes on the money they earned. This practice is known as withholding. The withholding system has been in place since 1943. It was instituted in a time of war when the federal government was desperate for a constant funding stream to help pay for an unprecedented war effort. At the time, it was viewed as a way to ensure the government collected every dollar of tax that it levied to pay for the fight against fascism. This was a time of great sacrifice when some Americans paid a top income tax rate of 94%. High rates of taxation helped to fund an Allied victory, but also increased federal tax receipts by 520% in 4 short years. Unfortunately for you, a wartime tax collecting system proved a little too successful, and it was not repealed at the end of World War II. They couldn't kill a mechanism that disguised the true burden of income taxes, and thus withholding became the status quo. Since then, the idea of a withholding tax has drawn the ire of many. Nevertheless, today many Americans have lost sight of the grim fact that the federal government confiscates a giant slice of their income before it ever gets to them. In the language of government speak, withholding is a way to make tax collection easier. In real-world terms, it's a clever way to hide the heavy toll you pay in taxes and, by extension, the real cost of government. This is the worst part about withholding. It silently drains your paychecks before they get to you, distorting the tremendous bite that federal taxes take out of your earnings. The thinking goes that if you never get your hands on the money in the first place, you'll never miss it. That's government logic for you. And it's this kind of logic that also helps disguise the negative impact that tax hikes have on your wallet. Think about it. If you don't actually have to feel the pain of writing a check to Uncle Sam each month, you are desensitized to future tax increases. The money just slips out of your paycheck and into the embrace of the federal government. I believe you are a better steward of your money than the faceless government bureaucracy. That's why I've introduced legislation that does away with mandatory tax withholding. It's simple, really. You keep the money you earn and pay the tax you owe on your actual income at the end of the year. Some people might be tempted to complain about losing a, quote, tax refund. With my bill, you don't lose a tax refund. You gain control over your finances. After all, a tax refund is simply the federal government's admission that it confiscated too much of your hard-earned cash. Why not keep it in your bank account to begin with? According to the IRS, the average individual income tax return in 2006 was $2,287. If you were to save that money in an online savings account, you could earn an extra $100. In other words, you are, on average, lending the government $2,300 and foregoing an extra $100 in income. My bill is called the Federal Tax Withhold Act of 2008. Maybe a better name would have been Stop Subsidizing the Federal Debt Act of 2008. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this bill or your ideas for other ways to keep the federal government out of your pocketbook and from meddling in your life. Thanks for watching. Now let's work together to end the raid on your paycheck before it's too late.